Good afternoon, everyone. How many people we got? We got 21 participants at the moment. We'll wait for a couple more people to come in. But yes, welcome to session 2. So the Zoom session again is going to be about 40 minutes. There is a test, which we're going to see if you retained anything from the tutorials. Hopefully you will, because that is an important skill you need for the subsequent tutorials that are coming up each afternoon for the next few days. All right, so thank you very much for the discussions on the WhatsApp. I'm finding them very useful and very interesting to see what you're up to. At the moment, I'm shuffling 2 teams. Group 1 is finishing off their assignments at the moment. Then you've got yourselves as well. So it's getting quite a lot of juggling going on. Right. So what did we do yesterday? Yesterday, we mentioned that we are trying to introduce open educational resources. We want you to start using existing OER, and we want you to create new OER. So this workshop is trying to give you the skills to do everything you might need to do with accessing, adapting, and sharing these OERs. Step 1 is you got to know what these open licenses are. And that's what tutorial 1 was about. Most OERs, in fact, 99.9% of OERs use Creative Commons licensing. And the issue of Creative Commons licensing, let me just quickly put up the little stickers on the screen so you can see them. So if we look at these open licenses, here they are. All right, so make this a bit bigger so you can see very clear. Oh, that didn't work. All right. There are a number of rights that you can reserve. So there's the 4 rights on the right-hand side, and then you can combine them into a number of combinations. So you can reserve more than 1 right. So keep in mind then, full copyright means all rights reserved, and then public domain means no rights reserved. Okay, so a lot of educators felt, well, this is a bit unfair. We don't want to be constantly monitoring our resources. We have a different life. We are educators, and all those comments that you put in the Google form yesterday showed that it's the teaching that's your passion, not chasing up people who are in violation of copyright. All right, so we wanted something in the middle. So Creative Commons means some rights reserved. Okay, so hopefully now you can see which are the rights. There's the 4 rights there. I'm going to test you in a minute to see if you've got them. And then on the left-hand side are the 6 most popular combinations of those 4 rights. Okay, and again, in a minute, I'm going to just test to see if you can decipher all of that strange symbols. Okay, so once you know this, then you'll know what rights have been reserved, what you're allowed to do with the OER, and what you should not do with the OER. So remember then, when you go for an open license, you haven't surrendered your materials. You are still the copyright owner, but you are making it easier for teachers like yourself to access, to use without permission. There's no cost involved. In most instances, they're allowed to adapt the resource, but you retain the copyright. All right, so keep that in mind then. You're not surrendering. It's not public domain. It is not, you're not giving it away. You're still retaining your rights, but they are more relaxed than full copyright. Okay, so keep that in mind then. And if you wanted to really go into detail, I'm hoping you had a quick squiz through these. What do all these things mean? All right, you can see these big license plates. Okay, later on, we're going to show you how to generate your own license plate. So keep those in mind. Here they all are. But what do they mean? Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to get ready for the test. So on your phone, let me just get this up. Here we go. So on your phone or your device, I'm going to turn the music down a little bit. On your device, you can go to, so you need a browser. So you can either do this on your laptop or on your phone. I want you to open your browser, your internet browser, and I want you to navigate to www.kahoot.it. All right. And then when you arrive on that screen, it's going to ask you for a pin, a game pin. And you can see the pin on the screen there, 5333541. Okay, can we make that bigger somehow? Smaller. Okay. And full screen. All right, well, that'll do. Okay, so, and then when you get there and you put your pin in, then I will see that you have arrived and your names will appear on the screen. So you basically need to be able to see my screen, but you also want to have the ability to put in the answers to the questions on this other device. So it can be your phone, or it can be another window. If you are working on your laptop, you can have multiple windows open, of course. So you could have your Zoom open on the one, and then you can have your Kahoot on the other. All right, so I am waiting for you guys now to come in for the test. All right, so can you go to kahoot.it, www.kahoot.it, and then I want you to fill in the pin 5333541. Rebecca has already joined me, so she's on the ball. She's the guru, the ICT guru at the moment. So can you do that, please? We want to see that Chinyepi has also joined us. Leka leka. Right, the rest of you, in you go, please. So either open another window, make sure you have your browser and your Zoom open if you're on your laptop. If you're on your phone, can you open the browser, the internet browser on your phone, and navigate to kahoot.it. All right. Right, if you've got any queries or questions, you can do it in the chat. Let me get the chat open so I can see the chat. Justin is saying, joined with audio, but I'm not hearing anything. So Justin, that would be on your side. So something's not right. Either a cable is loose or you think you've turned something on. I'll tell you what is normally with me is I haven't turned my speaker on. So I don't know, maybe it's something as simple as that. All right, and now they're coming in. We've got 6 people: Chrissy, Tandiwe, Standwa, Bahebe, Chinyepi, Rebecca. All right, but we need more than that. So there's 30 odd of you, 32 in the Zoom at the moment, and there were 39 responses in the Google Forms the other day. So where are you? Come, make a plan. This is part of your basic ICT training. All right, I need you to open 2 windows. Either on your phone or on your laptop or whatever you're using. And I want you to, in the one, keep the Zoom window open. And then on the other, I want you to navigate to kahoot.it and insert the pin. Right, we're up to 9. We need a bit more than 9 before we start. Right, oh, this tool, while we're waiting for this tool is, I use it in my teaching a lot. So give it a go yourself and then start thinking how much you use Kahoot in your teaching. All right. It's interesting. In group 1, one of the people has made an OER, which has a quiz at the end, and they've built the quiz in Kahoot. There is a link. You can share your quizzes with your students, with your colleagues, etc. So maybe have a look how it works. And then the idea is, can you think of a way that you might be able to use it in your own teaching? Right. We had 9, but now we're down to 8. So can you come in, please? Still waiting. So navigate to kahoot.it. It's going to ask for a game pin. Can you put the game pin in? Okay, I want more than 8. There are 30 odd of you. Where are you? Come, come, come. Okay, why are we still waiting? I want more than 9. Come, guys. If you are going to start using technology in your teaching, you got to make a plan. All right, we're up to 10. Let me explain what's going to happen. Oh, 11, it's slowly climbing. What's going to happen is a question will appear on the screen, and then you'll have 4 options, of which one of them is correct. The options are colored. So there's a red, a green, a blue, and a yellow. All right. And then on your device, they will give you those 4 rectangles, and you just have to touch the correct one. You have to click the correct one. Is it the red answer, the green answer, the blue answer, or the yellow answer? All right. So I'm very disappointed that only 11 of you have signed in. Where's the rest? This is very easy. Come, open a browser and type in kahoot.it. I mean, come, where are you? Okay, so in this is not Zoom, by the way. This is another app, okay, kahoot.it. It's a little assessment app that you could use. I think in the previous modules, you were using quizzes, but a printout version of it. All right, quizzes is similar to Kahoot. So there are lots of these little apps. So find out which one works for you. All right, here we go. That's it. Very disappointed, people. Only 11 of you signed in. All right, and it's not rocket science. All right, here we go. For those people who have not signed in, you still can, while we're going along, you can come in and you can pick up wherever we might be, but you won't get a full score because you'll have missed some of the questions. So it's still persevere so that you get a hang of it. Here we go. We're going to start. Identify which right the author has reserved when using this CC symbol. Okay, it's the little man. Right, so on your devices, you've got to look for the colors. Which is the correct color? Is it the red one, attribution, blue, share alike, yellow, non-commercial, or is it green, no derivatives? You have 9 seconds remaining. All right, so remember, we're looking at the little man. All right, so the correct answer was red. It was attribution. So only 2 of you got that right. You can see 3 of you went for no derivatives. Okay, but if you see the little man, it means by. It means it's by someone. So who's it by? All right, attribution. Who is the person that needs to be attributed, acknowledged as the creator? All right, so keep that in mind. All right, now when we look at the results, we can see that Loveness got more marks than Rebecca. And the reason why is because Loveness was faster than Rebecca. So the quicker you answer, the more points you get. All right, the rest of you have yet to get on the scoreboard. So here we go, let's try. Which statement best describes the ND, right? So when you see ND, that equals sign, what does it mean? Have a look at the options, choose the right color. All right, that's a bit better. All right, so most of you got that one. So ND, no derivatives, it means you can't make copies. All right, no derivatives, must stay as it is. 3 of you got that correct. The rest of you got a little bit confused. But remember, the beauty of all OERs is that you can make copies. All right, so none of them restrict the number of copies you can make. So keep that in mind then. The beauty of OERs is you can hand out the OER to everyone in the class, no problem. Okay. All right, so Loveness is still in the lead. Rebecca is closing the gap slightly. Baheb is coming up on the scoreboard. We're still waiting for the others to score properly. Which statement best describes the SA right? Okay, it's that symbol there where the arrow goes to the left. All right. Look at the options, which is the correct color. Five seconds remaining. Ta-da! Well, correct. The majority of you went for use the same license as the original resource, and that is correct. All right, so share alike means you can take my resource, you can make new derivatives, but you must share it in the same way with the same license. So when you see that, then it means share alike. Okay, good. Rebecca has powered into the lead. All right, Loveness is still holding at 1200, but now we've got more people on the board, and Rebecca has had a winning streak of 3. She's got it correct in 3 times. Good. Number 4, which is the most open of these licenses? Okay, so there's 6 of them there with letters A, B, C, D, E, and F. When we talk of openness, which is the most open, the least restrictive? All right, is it A, B, C, or E? Choose the right color. All right, there's a bit of a spread there. Okay, so let's just have a look at that again. Here's the licenses. So by most open, we mean the least restrictive. Okay, it means you can do the most with it without worrying. Okay, so A is by far the most open, the least restrictive, because basically it says you can do whatever you like, but you must attribute whoever is the creator. Okay, so A is by far the biggest. A guess which is the most restrictive would be by NCND. All right, you can make lots of copies, but you can't change it and you can't use it for profit, etc. All right, so keep that in mind then. CC BY is the most open of these licenses. All right, only Ronald moved up the board there. Which of these licenses do not allow you to change them? All right, and you'll notice there's at least 2. So F is in all of them. So there must be one other. So what's the other one that does not allow repurposing? 4 seconds remaining. All right. Bit of a mess, that one. All right, so keep an eye then. Here they are again. Which ones say that you can't change them? So remember, ND, no derivatives. All right, so there are 2 NDs, E and F. Right, so F was a given because they told us. So those are the 2 which you have to use as is. You can't make changes. All right, so keep that in mind. Right, Rebecca is still in the lead, but there was no movement there. C has come onto the board nicely, moving up. Number 6, which license prohibits the use of in fully copyrighted works? So some of them you can't now take from an open environment and now stick them in a fully copyrighted work. So which ones would restrict you from now incorporating it in a textbook, for example? All right. So what's the right which restricts you on that? All right, well, hey, that was good. Well done. Okay, the vast majority of you went for 4, B and D. So let's have a look at B and D. So B, here it is, by SA, and D, by NCSA. So it's these SAs which restrict you from moving it elsewhere. So like a textbook is fully copyrighted, but you couldn't now use these OERs in that textbook. You would have to go look for something else. All right. You could use this one in a fully copyrighted textbook, or actually any of the others. Well, maybe not the NC because of copyright. No, sorry, non-commercial. Textbooks, you're going to sell them. So that could be a problem. All right. Okay, nice. Well done. Okay. Ronald and Sydney move up the list. Rebecca's still in the lead. What can you do with MIT's OpenCourseware? It's a little small, but it's in case you can't see it, I'll read it to you. Here's the license here. It says by NCSA, by NCSA. All right. Okay. Nice. So actually, it's a bit of a cheat. There were 2 correct answers. Red and yellow are both correct. Okay. But the nice thing is all but one of you went for either use without asking for permission, adapt for classes and students. So yes, if you were to take the resources from this university, you don't have to tell them. And 2, you can change them. You can make them work better for an African context, for example. So nice. Okay. I don't know if you can see it. There it is, by NCSA. Okay. So well done, team. Nice. Oh, yeah, lots of movement there. But Rebecca is still in the lead, and she's got quite a nice lead as well. All right. Well done. We're nearly there. Last few. True or false? When you create a piece of work, it is automatically copyrighted with an open license. It is automatically copyrighted with an open license. Is that true or is that false, that statement? All right, nice. The vast majority went, it's true. No, I said it's true, and that is correct. All right. So the reality is that when you create a unique piece of work in most countries, the copyright law says that even though you don't put the little C in the circle in there, it is still by default full copyright, all rights reserved. So it's exactly the opposite of what it says there. All right. If you want an open license, you have to put the open license on yourself. There is no default legislation. All right. So you have to come up with that. Cool. I think Rebecca is slowly pulling away. All right. Next one, number 9. If you see this one, CC0, what is it equivalent to? What is it the same as? All right. Is it the same as full copyright, public domain, these GNU licenses, or is it the same as CC BY? Well done. Okay, the vast majority of you worked that one out. CC0 means 0 rights reserved, which is the same as no rights reserved. So it's the same as public domain. So occasionally you'll see CC0, then what they mean is no rights reserved. You can do whatever you like. You don't even have to acknowledge where it came from. So well done. Rebecca is just pulling away. She's awesome. All right. Loveness has regained her spot at number 2, but very close is Sydney and Ronald. All right. So that's still a fight. And here's the last one coming up now. What Creative Commons right is reserved by this symbol? It's a catch question. Okay. It's the symbol does exist. All right. But you're going to have to work out of the 4 down there, which right is reserved by that symbol. Nice, well done. We taught you with a $sign, all right, but you can use any currency. So in that case, it was the yen. I think is that Japan or China? I forgot. We can always Google it. Yes, it means non-commercial. It means you can't make a profit from the OER. The intellectual property must remain free. All right. So you got that. If you see any currency in it like that, then yes, non-commercial. So well done, guys. So who won? Rebecca, unsurprisingly. Sydney came in 3rd. Loveness hangs on to 2nd, and Spotlight, yay! Rebecca, look at that lead she had, 6,131. She got 8 out of 10 correct. So well done to Rebecca. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. Let's see. Let's get some feedback from you guys. So the first one was on attribution. Only 9% of you got it correct. Same with the next one. Which licenses allow repurposing? 9%. Identify the most open license? 13%. And the same with the ND right, 13%. Which license prohibits use in fully copyrighted works? 18%. Which statement best describes essay right? 18%. So yeah, let's look at the full report. You can see it, doesn't matter. All right. And you can see here, it gives me a breakdown of who was doing what. I can see Rebecca, Loveness, Sydney, and Ronald are okay. And you can see the others on. We won't embarrass anyone. All right, cool. Okay, so there we go. That is Kahoots, and you can have these little tests in class or even remotely if you set it up similar to that. And it's you make your little Kahoots test at kahoots.com. All right, so it's different from what you were kahoot.it to come and play the game. But to create them, you have to create your own account. Now, there is a free version. I use the free version, but they try and encourage you to subscribe, and then you can have all these additional functionality. But I find free's more than enough for me. Maybe it is for you as well. So it's a free. The basic version is free, and to create your own little multiple choice test, you go to kahoot.com, set up your account, and then you have a library. So in my library, for example, I've got a number of them. I've got one on emergency remote teaching. I've got one on learning theories. I've got one on facilitation skills, virtual facilitation, open licensing, and I've got a geography one, which we did for Rwanda. So yeah, so it's all free. Make yourself at home, try it out. All right. So do I feel you guys are in control? No. As a teacher, I'm thinking, oh, that didn't work very well. Those were pretty low scores. So as an educator now, I'm going, I'm not sure group 2 are really up to speed with their Creative Commons licenses. So I'm going to maybe have to test you later in the week again. So please, if you haven't gone through tutorial 1, you're already falling behind. Okay, there are no lectures. There are no little handouts in the WhatsApp. You have to do the tutorials. All right, there are only 4. So, and they're an hour each. So try them out. All right, so what happens next? I'm sorry, hang on. Here we go. So what comes next? All right, so now hopefully you know your OERs. You've been through the first tutorial, and now it's time to have a look at the second tutorial. Now, one of the problems we mentioned in the introduction is that these OERs, they're all over the place. There's no one-stop shop repository, okay? And so you need to have a couple of skills about how you're going to find these things and how you're going to use them. All right. So please, can you have a look before tomorrow, 2 o'clock? So you got a day to get through this. It's about 50 minutes tutorial. So can you find time to go through this? If you have not done tutorial 1, you have to do that as well. All right. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind and then you won't have enough time to do your assignment. Okay. So can you have a look? We have a look at the syllabi. So we want you to go and have a look at your correct curriculum documents for your subject or for your learning area or your learning level. So please, can you make sure that you go through the little tutorials that explains how to find the correct document. I'm assuming you've got them in your back pocket, but in case you haven't, then it explains how to go and find your curriculum documents, and then it gives you some advice about how to find. Let's kill off the sound. Who was that? I'll just. All right. So so it gives you some tips about how to identify good search criteria for your OERs. And then it says, well, let's go and find them. So it shows you how to find them using Google. It shows you how to find them using the Creative Commons search. And it shows you how to find them on YouTube. All right. How can you find Creative Commons stuff on YouTube? And there's even a section on good open repositories, of which one of them is very important. It's this OER Commons. So we want you to be up to speed with how to find curriculum resources using all of those different search techniques. All right. And there's a couple of little activities to get you going, some things to think about, some feedback, etc. All right. So can you please do that before tomorrow? And then tomorrow I'm going to find another way to engage with you. It won't be cahoots tomorrow, but there'll be another little tip. All right. So let's now go and look at you guys. It's cool. I'm going to stop sharing. And you don't have to look at that. And I'm now going to ask people to put up their hands. So go to the participants list and you'll see that you can put up your hand there. Do you have anything to say about yesterday's work, or do you have any concerns about tonight's work? All right, so please can you put up your hands and give me some feedback. What's working, what's not working? I see Ngonid.
It's Ngonizashe. Yeah, Ngonizashe.
I apologize. Oh,
okay. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon, Andrew. Good afternoon. Unfortunately, I couldn't log into the Kahoot challenge because of network challenges. I was having trouble with my Wi-Fi. So, but I was in and I already knew most of the answers. So from tutorial 1, I've learned a lot, especially on the Creative Commons or the license plates. I actually did the task about 3 times until I got all the answers correct. The coursework is clear, and I think it's good for us. Thank you, Andrew. But I'm disappointed I failed to get into the Kahoot challenge, but I wouldn't love to be in that challenge. Thank you.
In fact, the questions were very similar to the tutorial, so you would have aced it. You would have given Rebecca a run for her money. Hey? Shame. All right, Devani, do you want to speak? Oh, hang on, who's got the hand up? Who's next? Devani, are you going to speak? I'm just going to mute you then in that case. All right, any other feedback? What's working, what's not working? Any frustrations, etc.? Can I just ask people then? All right, let me ask someone, where is Rebecca? I want to hear from Rebecca. Rebecca Sharara, what is your experience so far? Because you're the star, because you won the Kahoots. Rebecca, do you want to mute? You're muted. Do you want to take the mute off? Let's hear from you. We should give you a round of applause. Rebecca, I'm coming back to you. Okay, so find that mute button. All right, I see Chinyepi has got his, I think, is it he? Oh, I'm not sure. But Chinyepi, you've got your hand up. Can you speak?
Yeah, I had a problem with Kahoot. The problem was that I didn't know that you were putting your own screen on the other. I was using my phone, so I was on the other browser picking the colors, so I couldn't score the marks because I wasn't seeing the answers.
So you only had one window open, so you couldn't see what the question.
The answers. So,
yeah.
So I just guessing. That's why I scored.
Well, it's formative assessment. It's not summative, so formative is fine. But hopefully you heard me go through the answers. All right. So yeah, that might explain why some of the statistics were a bit low. All right. So yeah, if you're doing normally, if you're in a class face to face, then you would project the question onto the board, and then the kids would respond on their devices, because then they can look at both. But for you guys, because we really, really are all online, it meant you had to have 2 windows open, one with your Zoom and one with your Kahoot. All right, so maybe that was a bridge too far, but okay. That's interesting. Thank you, Chinyepi. That's great. Joyce, you got your hand up. What would you like to tell us?
Okay,
Good.
and some question of myself, just one browser.
Say it again.
So I couldn't know which. I had one browser open.
Okay, same problem.
Yeah, so I was just guessing the answer, like what's my answer?
Yeah, no, it is difficult. There are different settings. I've always used the teach setting, but there are ways they can get the whole quiz on their own devices, and they just work through it like a normal quiz. This way, I was trying to make it a group thing whereby you're all looking at one thing and then responding. So maybe still go and have a look at Kahoots and try the other settings. That way, they can see the question and the answers on their device. Maybe I should have done it that way. Good point. All right, Joyce, thank you. Anything else? Okay, Sydney, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I was using hello team. I was using one window, but I made it, and I made it to the 3rd position. But I was using one window. Just say well done to me, Andrew.
Maybe we should have another go on Thursday. I'll make another one, and then we can have another practice on Thursday. Because it really is a great little tool. Admittedly, it's not for summative, it's just for formative assessment. But you see, that was it was a good way for me to see how much you know and for you to test your knowledge. So it does have a place. So, all right. Thank you, Sydney. That's useful. Anything else? All right. Then Tandiwe. Would you like to speak?
Okay, good afternoon, Andrew and the whole class. Actually, I would like to ask for another round of the Kahoot challenge because using a phone, I had difficulties with the first questions. I couldn't get to the Zoom browser, but now I later find my way through. So maybe if you can give us another challenge sometime, maybe during the week.
All right. So on Thursday, I'll make one which is a summary of all four. Of the three that you've done by Thursday. On Friday, I'm hoping you guys are going to give me a demo of your OERs. So, all right, I will put together another one. We'll have another go later in the week, and then it'll be like a summary of everything we've done. Okay. Anything else? All right. Okay. So we've seen, Christina, would you like to address us?
Good afternoon, everybody. Are you hearing me?
Hearing you nice. Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Facilitator. Say, everything is well. Thank you so much, sir. But to a lesser extent, I'm far much disappointed because I couldn't make it on the Kahoot show. But to a greater extent, I learned something new. Thank you, Mr. Andrew. I didn't know that when you create your own unique piece of work, by default, it's fully copyrighted. Thank you, sir.
It is good. Okay, Christina, that's great. Any other queries, comments? All right. So then. Keep in mind, I'm just going to quickly share the screen one more time. Let me put the links in the Zoom and in the WhatsApp for you for number 2. So you don't have to go digging around. All right, here it is. Copy. I'm going to put the first one in the chat here in the chat. All right. No, not to Joyce, but to everyone. All V. And then let me do it in the WhatsApp as well. Group 2. All right, so I've put the link for tonight's tutorial. It is in the WhatsApp, it is in the Zoom. Can you make sure that you've got access to it, so when you look at it either this afternoon or this evening or even tomorrow morning, that you know how to get in? All right, I'm also just going to give you this one. I find this very useful. Well, give me a second. I'll put it in the WhatsApp. So this is links to everything. All right, so in the WhatsApp, I've just put the link. This is our little landing page with all of our resources. So all 4 tutorials are on this site. The agenda with all the assessment criteria, etc., is on that link. And then I'm also putting up all the links to the Zoom recordings, because that's one of the beauties, is that if you missed a bit, you can always go back and have a look. So all the Zoom recordings are also accessible from this page. So let me also put it in the chat. Chat. Here we go to everybody. All right, so those are the 2 key things that you need to go forward. The one is directly to the little tutorial, number 2, and the second one is to all the resources for this week's module 2B. All right. It is now, we've been going for 45 minutes. I think that's enough. I don't want to waste your time. You're very busy people and you've got lots to do. So I will see you tomorrow at 1400 hours at 2 o'clock again. I've got another way to see if you're engaging with the tutorials. So please make sure that you do. Don't fall behind. Otherwise, come the end of the week, you've got a mountain to climb. So rather do a little bit every night, and then you'll be ready for the end. We have a little certificate, especially for module 2B. This is a bit different from all your other ones. So your module 1, module 2, and module 3 are big, enormous pieces of work, but this is very manageable. So we've got our own little certificate for this module 2B. And there's another certificate for everything, okay, at the end. Okay, all right. Sydney, you still got your hand up. Are you happy? I assume he is. All right. So if you have any further queries or questions, please do it in the WhatsApp. I'm keeping an eye on OER Group 2. And yeah, you can ask me questions. I'll try and answer them, or your colleagues can as well. Okay, so that's the end of session 2. I'll put the recording up later in the afternoon, and then you can always go and revise or have another look at how that Kahoot was working. Cool. All right, you are free to go. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Andrew. Bye.
Ciao. I see Rebecca was there in the last one. In 2019, that's why she was so good. Joyce says thank you. Sydney says thank you. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.